The Sony a7C II and a7CR are two powerful new compact full-frame mirrorless cameras. Both cameras are physically identical and can operate interchangeably within the same camera housing. But there is an important decision to be made when you get ready to invest in a housing: DL or DLM-A. I'll walk you through the differences and give you the information you need to choose the housing that's perfectly suited to you. The central difference between the two housings is the port system. DL refers to our large diameter dry lock port system. DLM is our dry lock micro port system, which is a smaller diameter to allow for a smaller housing. The most important thing is to check the port charts to make sure that the lenses you plan to shoot are supported in the housing of your choice. We've linked the port charts in the description below. If you enjoy shooting wide-angle zoom lenses and over-under shots, it's worth noting that only our DL system supports zoom operation with the larger diameter 8-inch dome port. In the DLM system, you would need to either choose between a 6-inch dome port with zoom control or use the wide-angle lens at a fixed focal length behind the 8-inch dome. I found that the Sony a7C II camera has a pretty good battery life. I could take several hundreds of shots over 3 or 4 days of diving without recharging the camera. Video does drain the battery more rapidly, and in my experience, the battery needed charging after about 2 dives when shooting video. With either housing, you can leave the camera mount attached to the bottom of the camera when you go to change the battery or SD card. But what if you could charge and offload photos without taking the camera out of the housing? That's my dream, and it comes true with the USB-C charging and data transfer bulkhead. Only the DL housing has enough room for the attachment of a USB-C cable inside. You can install our optional USB-C bulkhead and connect the camera to a computer while it stays in the DL housing. After it's charged, just replace the waterproof cap, pull a vacuum again, and you're ready to dive. The DLM-A housing is so small that it just doesn't have the room for the USB cable. You'll need to remove the camera body from the housing to change the battery. For many lenses, that means removing the lens and the port before opening up the back of the housing and taking the camera body out. For the same reason as the USB-C charging, only the DL housing is expected to be compatible with third-party bulkheads for HDMI monitors. I just don't think there's enough room inside of the DLM housing for an HDMI connection. If you're considering a smaller full-frame camera, it's likely that you want to shoot a compact system underwater. The DLM housing is the smaller and lighter option at half the size and weight compared to the DL version. Because it's so form-fitted, it will be a little more negative underwater, so you may want to add buoyancy aids depending on your choice of lens and port. Most underwater photographers like to get into the water with some assurance that they will come back to the surface with a dry camera inside. The best way to test this is using a vacuum leak detection system. Our vacuum valve is super low profile to stay out of your way when you're using the housing. It comes standard on the DL housing model. The DLM doesn't include it out of the box, but it's a super simple installation, and John shows you how to do that in the video that's going to pop up here. Once underwater, I prefer to view settings and compose my photos using the large, bright LCD screen on the back of the camera, and you have full view of that with either housing. Only the DL housing supports the use of the camera's electronic viewfinder. We have our Super Eye viewfinder built into the housing, which can easily be swapped out for an enhanced straight or 45-degree magnifying viewfinder. But Sony didn't put their best EVF technology in these new a7C cameras, so it may not be worth the investment if you don't already own the magnifying viewfinder. Both housings support multiple flash triggering options, and you can read all about those in the article we have linked in the description below. You can attach a strobe with an electrical sync cord straight away, or change out the bulkhead to a fiber optic transmitter. Overall, I think the DLM underwater housing is a no-brainer for shooters who want to downsize their gear without sacrificing image quality. I like that it's so small, and I'm not shooting some of those larger lenses like the Sony 16-35mm f2.8 GM. But if you also own a second Sony full-frame camera like a7S3 or a7R5, then I think it could make a lot of sense to go with the DL housing. It shares the same ports and accessories with our housings for Sony's professional cameras. It also supports our revolutionary USB-C charging and data transfer bulkhead, which is sometimes all people need to know to make up their mind. You can see this information in more detail along with a chart summarizing the differences between these two housings in the article linked in the description below. Ultimately, both housings are highly functional and ergonomic options for these two cameras. They are built here in the USA, and of course, either way you go, we're here for you with any help or photo advice you need. Just email us at ikelite@ikelite.com. Thanks for joining me, and happy shooting!